So I've just put my headphones on, realised that I've had no sound all this time. How amazing is that? Well done, me. So what I was talking about is these YouTube channels that claim to be copyright free. They're not. I've used a few songs from a few different copyright free channels that claim to be copyright free, and I'm now getting what are they? Uh, a copyright claim. So it's a copyright claim, not a copyright strike. It does say this is not a copyright strike. Your short, which has over 60 seconds of somebody else's music that they've put up as copyright free. So obviously that's why I've used it, because it's advertised as copyright free music that I'm meant to be allowed to use in my video. But but then, months later, or a month later, you get a copyright claim on your channel. And honestly, it is really annoying. But I mean, I've learned when it first started happening, um, back in February, I learned my lesson, and I've gone on to YouTube Studio uh, playlists now. They have an audio library in YouTube Studio that you can use the music for background that's copyright free. It's it's really not as good as other stuff out there. I think out of all of the tracks that are on there, there's what three three that I like, that I've sort of starred and said, yeah, I like that track. But everything else on there is really kind of just generic, kind of just plonking on a keyboard. Yeah, good stuff, eh? We've got 3 minutes before we go live. I do hope everyone's happy today. I hope you're doing well at home. I'd like to know how you're doing. So feel free to leave a comment and say, what you're up to, how you're doing. Hope you're living it large. Hope you're having a great time. There you go. This track isn't bad, actually. What's this? Fire in the Sky by Alex Jones. Yeah, that's all right. I'm gonna start this track. Not too bad. So you do find some gems, some diamonds in the rough. It's not all doom and gloom. Yeah. So there you go. See, that's what I really need to do. I need to let the music play and just shut the hell up, and just see which tracks I like, and go from there really. And let's get that a bit more centered on the old. On the X account. Yep, so we're live on X, we are live on YouTube's, and I like to make my own video as well, ready to be uploaded later on. And that's obviously that's going to be in landscape view, so that actually fills the screen, for people that prefer to watch horizontally on their phone, or that prefer just to cast it to the TV. I myself do that quite a bit. There you go. No comments as of yet. not many chatty people today. There you go. Mind you, it is a Wednesday, isn't it? I expect everyone's at work, and I expect a lot more people will watch this video later on when they get home from work. We have 12:30. I was just waiting for that to tick down, and it of course has just ticked down. Let's go live. There we go. So, good afternoon, everyone out there. How we doing? I hope you're living the dream, living it large. I hope you're feeling fantastic and ready for some fantastic news and just acknowledge where Britain is going. You know what's happening in Britain today. Jesus Christ, eh? I don't think Britain's in a particularly good way, but I don't know. Let's find out together, shall we? Let's take a look at what's going on in Britain and just fucking despair together. So we have a Muslim woman has said on X that owning a dog causes you to lose blessings and keeps angels away from your home. So just be aware of that. If you want angels and blessings upon your home, then don't have a dog. Apparently, a dog can keep angels away from your home, you know, and nobody wants that. So you're probably best not getting a dog, and that has nothing to do with the fact that Muslims don't like dogs. It's nothing to do with that. She's just warning you that if you do have a dog, then blessings and angels may stay away from your home. Just so you know. Yes. So we have GB News next. 6 people in hospital after London bus crash horror outside Popular Theatre. This has happened today. In fact, this has happened at 10:51 this morning, it would seem. 6 people, blah, blah, blah. Theatre on a busy street in London. Emergency services rushed to Newington Causeway in Southwark shortly after the Metropolitan Police officers were called to the incident. It's 8:06 this morning. So it took reporters 2 hours, nearly 3 hours. Happened at 8:06, and it was published on 10:51. So it took nearly 3 hours for GB News to put this news out there. That's incredible. If there'd have been anyone there with a video camera or a phone, they would have just put that up immediately, and people would have known about it immediately. You'd have stopped traffic. You'd have stopped, I don't know, any unwanted kind of traffic, whether that be people or cars come into that area, and that'd have been fine. You know, people would have known about it. They would have avoided the area. But the problem that we have in this country is the mainstream media. They're not allowed. They probably had to go through a load of checks. They probably wrote a story about it, put the pictures together and everything, and then went to the bosses and say, "Can we report on this? Can we? Can we actually do anything about this?" And they probably had to go to Ofcom or some bollocks like that and get approval just to report on a fucking bus track crash. Just amazing. It's just fucking insane. So this is why people, again, are just turning away from mainstream media, because there's too many hoops. There's too many fucking little jumps that these stations have to go through to report on anything. And it's all political. It's all, can we report on this? Is it going to stir up any hatred? Can we do this? Can we do that? Whereas people like myself, like other news reporters, or whatever you want to call us, commentators, whatever, we just think, fuck it, if it's out there, I will report on it. If somebody says you know, here's a video of something going on in wherever. Oh, fuck it, I'll put it up. You know, bollocks to it. I'm not being told what I can and cannot fucking say or post. Bollocks to them. Free speech in this country. You know, I intend to use my free speech to say what the fuck I'd like to. And so should you, by the way. Anyone living in Britain, you have free speech. Fucking use it. There you go. Remember the drill rapper that was mistakenly released from jail last week? Well, he was caught. So this is a drill rapper. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to say rapper. I know what a rapper is. Somebody that raps, okay? You know, rapping. But I don't know what a drill rapper is. So I'm just going to say rapper. So he was mistakenly released from prison last week. And then he was caught. Well, he's now on the run again after again mistakenly released from prison. So in 2 weeks, this guy's been released twice by mistake and caught once. That is incredible. This is David Lammy all over it. It really is. He's a fucking moron. So anyone working beneath him, working under his systems that he's put in place, is also a fucking moron. It's absolutely hopeless in Britain right now. It really is just a fucking joke. We are a joke country. Anyone outside of the UK, I can see we've got a couple of people live that are saying they're from India. Congratulations to you, genuinely. I hope things are fantastic out in India, because, you know, here in the UK, we're just a fucking joke, and we know it. We have no mistake about anything. You know, we knew when we ruled the, you know, a large portion of the world, and we know now that we're a fucking joke. Yeah, I don't think anyone in Britain has any sort of illusions or delusions about who and what we are currently in Britain. 1 second, I'm just going to grab a drink. Just checking that the music is still playing also. It does stop every now and then. It's quite annoying. It's a lot of hassle just having music in the background of your videos. It really is. You wouldn't expect it, but there genuinely is just a lot of hassle involved with it, just having a bit of music in the background of your videos. Amazing. Okay, we have Atherstone Ball Game 2026 takes place in Warwickshire. The traditional medieval game was played for over 800 years, and it looks fucking awesome. Oh my god. Right, so basically this is obviously a white man's sport. It is just full of white people. And all it is a great big ball is just thrown into the middle of a load of blokes, a massive crowd that is just 100% white men by the looks of it. And they all just fight over this ball. Yeah, it's insane. If you go onto X, look up Urban Pictures on X, who has posted this video with hashtag Atherstone. I mean, I'm amazed at this. I might do a special on this at some point over the weekend or something, of just videos of this sport. It looks absolutely fucking amazing. I genuinely want to go and take part in this. They're all just punching each other. They don't give a shit. Just a couple of fights are breaking out, where people have obviously singled each other out and just like, yeah, I want to fight you. And they're more than happy to go. I might see if I can join this. I might get see what next year's is like. Why not? Why not? Genuinely, why not? You know, if our forefathers did it, then, you know, why shouldn't we? It looks great. I believe we should carry swords again. Right, Britain is broken has posted on X to say the government is evicting Chagossians from their homeland. A British Chagossian receives eviction notice from the British Indian Territory government. I have just been served this piece of paper telling me to leave my homeland, and this is a British Chagossian who's they're evicting them. They're basically saying, get out of Chagos and come back to Britain. Come to Britain. It's ridiculous. Keir Starmer is an absolute traitor. Handing over territory for nothing. It is just an absolute joke. But they fuck it. If no one wants to storm number 10 Downing Street and drag this cunt out of there, then I can't take it upon myself. If there was a group of maybe 100 men going down there to drag Keir Starmer out of office, I would absolutely join them. Absolutely. But I can't set that up myself. I can't do that myself, drag him out of office. So I've got to wait for other people to wake the fuck up. It's quite infuriating, to be honest. But it's what I've got to fucking do. It's the same as like this whole Rupert Lowe, Nigel Farage thing that's going on at the moment. Farage was the most right-hand kind of right-wing party. So we supported him. We supported what he was doing and everything like that. But now Rupert Lowe has come out and is like, look, I'm going to be more right-wing than Farage, and thousands, nearly millions by the looks of it from the buzz that's online, have just deserted Nigel Farage and said, yeah, fuck it. If Rupert Lowe is going further right-wing than anyone else, then I'm absolutely fucking with him. I'm one of those people. I have joined Rupert Lowe. I am a member of Restore Britain, absolutely. Because I am right wing and I have no shame in that. I don't see that as a negative thing. To me, that just means I'm patriotic and I want to save my country from third worlders that mean to do me fucking harm. That's all that means to me. I don't see that as a bad thing at all. But I genuinely feel bad for these Chagossians. What can you do? Let's say Keir Starmer does another U-turn on this. Let's say this Chagossian bloke comes to Britain now because he wants to remain British. Let's say he comes to Britain because he wants to remain British, and then Keir Starmer does another U-turn and says, nah, you know what, the Chagos deal is not going to go ahead now. This poor fucker, as what, does he just get a flight back to Chagos Islands then? This absolute poor fucking people. And I don't think Keir Starmer realizes how much of an effect the bollocks that he talks, the absolute nonsense that he talks, actually affects people, because he's a twat, because he's an absolute reprobate twat. Even if he did, do you know what? Even if he did know how much of an effect it has on people, I genuinely don't think he'd even give a fuck. He probably would not care. So, he's just a piece of shit through and through, no matter which way you look at it. We have GB News, who are reporting on popular UK chocolate maker plunges into administration after 40 years of business. So this is all too common now. This is nothing new. We have businesses of 100 years old, 200 years old. This particular business is 40 years old and it cannot survive Rachel Thieves. So well done, Rachel Thieves, for destroying another 40-year-old company that survived a hell of a lot throughout the years in Britain, but unfortunately it could not survive Rachel Reeves because she really is that much of a bitch. Fuck Rachel Reeves, she's a slut. So we got the company it sells is called Marasou's Petite Fours. And apparently it's one of Britain's most celebrated chocolate manufacturers, but I think it's one of those behind the scenes kind of chocolate manufacturers. You know, they probably actually make the chocolate, but then it's actually distributed to other companies who label it up and whatever. Got the flag the wrong way round. Do you know what I did? I put it up this morning and I didn't even think about that. I literally just put it up there. Didn't even think about it. So you're probably right. Yeah, I'll address that later. I've got a lot going on today. So thank you for pointing that out to me. Eddie8189, thank you for pointing that out to me. I will address that as soon as I can later on. I promise you it will be fixed by tomorrow. Simple case, I just didn't even think about it. Cheers though. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way. Let's have the Uncensored Patriots. Oh, I like that name, the Uncensored Patriots. That is a good name for somebody that I would show a lot of interest in. And they have said Mohammed Hijab has just admitted the plan Islam's war on white Christian Britain. He boasts Muslims will stop non-Muslims, strip non-Muslims of rights through sheer numbers, political takeover. I can believe that because it's basically happening at the minute in Britain, or martyrdom. What he means there, martyrdom, is he's talking about suicide bombers. They will martyr themselves by blowing themselves up and killing as many British people basically as they can. So you know, he's telling people to do this, and you know, it's not even banned. It's fine. Apparently in England, that's absolutely fine to do that. See, I'll probably get arrested for what I'm saying here, and reporting on Mohammed Hijab admitting that the plan is to invade the West and take over. But will Mohammed Hijab get arrested for actually saying these things, for calling for people to strip non-Muslims' rights through sheer numbers, political takeover, influence, or martyrdom? So again, he's talking about violence, political takeover, political violence, basically. We all know of different councillors, different MPs. If you follow me regularly, then you'll know about different MPs and things that have had their car tyres cut because in like Birmingham, places like that, because obviously they're going against the mainstream there. So if you're white and you want to be an MP in Birmingham, just expect your tyres to be cut on your car, to be slashed, you know? And that's what they mean by that. So Mohammed Hijab, well done to him. He can get away with saying whatever the fuck he wants. I'll probably have the police at my door tomorrow morning. There you go. Marvelous. Okay, so then we have Basil the Great, who has posted on X to say, if you want China to be Chinese, that's fine. If you want Brazil to be Brazilian, that's fine. If you want Israel or Palestine to have lands for their people, that's fine. But if you want Britain to be only British, apparently you're a Nazi. Righto, that is how that works. And yeah, again, I absolutely agree with that. I have been called Nazi many a times, and in fact so many times that I don't even give a shit anymore. Call me absolutely whatever the fuck you like. It does not affect me the slightest bit. And I will admit, yes, I am a bit Islamophobic. I want every fucking Muslim in this country gone. I want them gone back to their own country. I admit that absolutely. And the reason that Basil the Great has posted this is because a news outlet has said online Nazis hail our leader as Rupert Lowe launches new party. So apparently Rupert Lowe is Hitler, and anyone that follows him is part of the far right. Brilliant. Yeah. Again, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Call me whatever you want. Call Rupert Lowe whatever you want. Brilliant. I just don't care. Fuck off, basically. I'm gonna vote for him anyway. I'm gonna petition for him anyway, and there's basically nothing you can do about that. Until obviously, I expect when it gets closer to the election, the government they'll try and ban them like they did in Germany and other places, and France as well. They did, didn't they? But let's wait and see what happens. GB News is reporting that inflation has dropped to 3%, with the Bank of England inflation drops to 3% with Bank of England interest rate cuts on the card. Right, so this is another thing that's really annoying me, right? They're so quick now to say, inflation's dropped, hey, interest rates are dropped, this is great, this is marvellous, isn't it? You're all over the fucking show. That this time next month you'll be saying inflation is back up again. I'm sure it used to be they would adjust inflation sort of quarterly or half yearly, semi-yearly, and you'd get kind of 4 or 2 reports on that a year. But they're so desperate now to paint Rachel Reeves and Angela Rayner and Keir Starmer as good people and that they're doing well. You get a report on that every fucking month, and it's too much. Again, it's over information, and it changes all the fucking time. Like Keir Starmer, he U-turns all the fucking time. So no one in Britain has a clue what the fuck is going on in Britain. You hear one month that the Chagos deals are going ahead and everyone's from Chagos has got to move back to Britain and whatever. And then the next month it's not happening. But then the month after that it's happening. And then it just fucking mental. No one has a clue what the fuck is going on in Britain anymore. And I don't think anyone cares. I think these days, if you're arrested, you just sort of say, well, fuck it. I ain't got to pay rent. I ain't got to pay for food. I ain't got to pay for anything for the next, 6 months, 2 years, however long you want to throw me away for. So fuck it. Take me. Go on. Put the handcuffs on. Fucking hell. Couldn't give a shit. Being free in Britain now doesn't necessarily mean that you're free. You're still restricted on what you can say. You're still restricted on what you can do through pricing, because no one can afford anything to do anymore. The only thing you can do that you can't do in prison is work. Oh, fuck me. Isn't that fantastic? I'll tell you what, this country really can fuck off. I love what Britain used to be, hence the flag. I do love what Britain used to be. Not anymore, absolutely not. Tommy Robinson has posted, nationalists out hunting for Antifa in Paris. The cowardly murder of young Quentin was the final straw. Yet again, so I'll go through the rundown of this. What happened was a young guy called Quentin in France, in Paris. He was killed a few days ago by Antifa. They set upon him because he was, I believe he was protesting for women's rights. Which they didn't like. So they set upon him, they were kicking him, they were punching him. I think at one point they had him strangling him up against a wall. And whether they intended to or not, unfortunately, he died. They did kill him. That was that. After that, since then, you've got nationalists that are out every night now looking for Antifa, looking for lefties that I expect they're just going to beat the shit out of. And again, to be honest, I think they absolutely agree with I absolutely agree with this. And it's only a matter of time, again, before this happens in other countries, because Antifa, the left, they're pushing every time. I genuinely don't understand how this isn't happening in America after Charlie Kirk was murdered. I mean, things did change after Charlie Kirk was murdered, absolutely. I think the right definitely kind of stepped up their their game a little bit because they realised, okay, that the left are a significant threat now. You know, they are actually killing people. They are actually taking extreme measures because they're extremists now, and the right has to equal that. But I mean, where does that end up? Well, civil war. But that's the way it's going anyway. You can either fight it now or let your kids fight it in 20 years' time. Well, I doubt it will last 20 years' time. But yeah, you know, fight it now or fight it never, and just pass it down to your kids for them to deal with. Completely up to you. Absolutely, completely up to you. 1 second, why my laptop loads. It does take a moment. I don't have the best of digital devices. We have breaking. Okay, we have hundreds of amazing. Sorry, this is Jake Lang, January 6th political prisoner. Has posted on X to say hundreds of amazing dogs will be joining the Crusaders on our massive march in New York City. The dog march is taking place on March the 7th in New York City. Must stand against the Islamification of New York City. Christians are demanding no more public Muslim prayers to call in New York City. And of course, once again, we've been over this already today. Muslims absolutely hate dogs. They despise dogs. They're considered dirty in a Muslim's eyes. So taking dogs to this march is fucking genius. It's fucking genius. Well done to them. Well done. Yes, I like that. Yes, if there's an anti-Islam march around my area at all, absolutely. First off, I'm absolutely going to that. And second off, I am taking my big ass German Shepherd. He's a big boy. And he's coming with me. Yeah. Yes, I do have a very large German Shepherd. He's very big and very hairy, very furry. But he's fantastic. Too intelligent for his own bloody good, though. Literally. Okay. We have Britain is broken, who are saying UKIP leader Nick Tinconi offers to collaborate and work with Rupert Lowe in Restores Britain. Read Nick's full statement here. There is a long-ass statement that Nick Tinconi has put out regarding working with Rupert Lowe. And again, this is something that's happening again and again now since the launch of Restore Britain. So many people are agreeing to work with Rupert Lowe. You've got different other political parties that are standing down in different areas that Restore Britain is running for, to unite the right, to get everyone together. And it's beautiful to see. It genuinely is. I've never seen sort of coordination like this in the right ever, I don't think. Genuinely, and all the right people are backing this. I'm not going to say who they are, but I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you will know who they are. So this is fantastic. I do like Nick Tinconi, Nick Marcel Tinconi, but I would say, do you know what, Nick? Just seriously, leave UKIP. It's a dead party. Leave UKIP and join Restore Britain. That's already got such a massive following, and has all the momentum behind it. More so than Reform has ever had. Honestly, it's when I'm going to speak from my personal experience. When I heard what Rupert Lowe was announcing, when I heard his sort of game plan, his manifesto, I genuinely got goosebumps. This is a party that I am absolutely backing 100%. I'm not going to slag off Reform. because it may come to it that I need to vote for them in my area if Restore don't run in my area, or if that is the way that others are voting, then I will vote with them, because I don't want to split the right vote. So let's see what happens. But I do think right now it's going to be right now it is Reform versus Greens for the next government, for the next minister's position. I think in as little as 6 months, you're going to see the two main parties being Restore and the Greens that will be fighting, jousting for that government, for that prime minister position. That's the way I see it happening. Feel free to disagree with me if you want to, and I welcome criticism, absolutely. But that's just the way I see it. I think Restore absolutely have the momentum to just overtake everyone, to just steamroll into first position. I can see it happening. So we have a Cloud on X who has posted a picture and asks, when does it stop? And the picture is of a trans woman who is devastated after fertility clinic refuses to implant embryo, and they've been stated to say because there's no uterus to implant it in. Yeah, so don't be fucking stupid. Don't be fucking stupid. If you're a bloke, if you've got a cock down there, you fucking dickhead, then stop being a prick, You cannot have fucking embryos, fertile embryos implanted into... where are you going to put them? Where are you going to store these fucking embryos to allow them to grow? Huh? You don't have a uterus. Do you want them to inject them up your fucking ass? Do you want them to put them, inject them into your ball sack? Where the fuck am I supposed to put these fucking things? Dickhead. Absolute prick. Fucking clown world is what you've got when these fucking dickheads just talk shit like this. What a fucking stupid thing to do. Seriously, what a fucking idiot. Why do people pander to these fucking morons? Genuinely. When does this stop? When does it end? Why can't there be more people like me in charge that are just willing to say, don't be fucking stupid, don't be a dickhead, and fuck off out of my office? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's genuinely nothing wrong with that. Fucking hell. Britain is broken. 7 reform... this is a post from Britain is broken on X, saying 7 reform councillors have just defected to Restore Britain. This is huge. Reform are imploding. Join Restore Britain now. Well, okay, so again, we're back on the whole Restore Britain or reform sort of conversation again. And again, this is something that I'm seeing more and more of as these days goes on, even as these hours go on. I have seen so many people defect from reform to Restore today. And again, I think it's simply purely because reform were the most right-wing party, and therefore the right went for them and voted for them, and they're making leaps and bounds, and they're doing very, very well. However, Restore has just come out and gone right of the right party, and now everyone is just going to go with them. They're just going to side with them and say, do you know what, Farage, you're not right-wing enough. That is not what we want. We don't want you to reform the governments and all of their policies and plans. We don't want you to reform them. We want them restored. We want absolutely new plans in place. And I think one of those main things is immigration. It is, for me anyway, I can speak from personal opinion, that the reason I have gone to Restore Britain is because Rupert Lowe has said, I will be removing people that have no right to be here. I will be removing invaders, because they're invaders. Whereas Reform has said that he'll stop the boats and deport any invaders that come from that point onwards. Rupert Lowe is not saying that. He's saying he's going to backtrack. He's going to absolutely get rid of every invader in this country. And I love it. Absolutely. That is what I'm here for. That is what I'm voting for. And that is what I'm happy with and happy to vote for. Love it. We have, 1 second, I need to get rid of that. Okay, we have HJB News has posted on X to say in the UK mosques in Britain and UK, the UK mosques are now being used as polling stations in the upcoming local elections under the guidance of the Muslim Council of Britain. So guess what's going to happen there? There is no more of corrupt people than Muslims. And they justify everything they do by simply saying Allah would have wanted this. You know, the Prophet Muhammad will forgive this because it's for the best interest of Islam. It's called taqiyya or a tariqiyya, something. It's along those lines. Taqiyya, I think it's called. Well, anyway, that's what that is. It's lying to everyone else besides other Muslims to benefit Islam. It's called taqiyya. That's all they'll do. They'll change all the votes. They'll because they'll wait until like 2 o'clock in the morning. They're dedicated Muslims. They're dedicated to the cause. So once they've got all of those votes in the mosque, closed all the doors, they'll just go through them and just either change them or just replace them to suit what they want and what's beneficial to Islam. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's nothing that hasn't been proven to happen many times over in the past. And again, if you go to Muslim countries, they don't have democracy because that's all they do. They just cheat and lie their way to the top. As you see in Britain now, it happens all the time. It's so funny, and somehow we still allow them to get away with all this stuff. Amazing. What a country we really are. Okay, we have Grifty on X who has posted about an advert in the UK showing a black man and his white friend harassing a white girl on the bus is banned after just one complaint for reinforcing negative racial stereotypes is what the complaint was about. So it's been banned. That's it. An advert that shows a black guy and a white guy harassing a white girl has been banned because someone didn't like it. Whereas if you've got an advert that shows a group of white men harassing multiple different ethnicity women, no problem, absolutely no problem whatsoever. White men are absolutely the punching bag of this country for anyone, and it's been like that for God knows, but probably before I was born. But it really stepped up a notch, I would say, just after the 2000s, probably in about 2004, 2005, it really stepped up, and it's just been getting worse and worse for white men ever since, until you get to this point where we're at now, where literally no one wants to work with white men. No one wants to be around white men. The white man is always the villain on TV. The white men are always the people harassing girls and shit on public service announcements and things like that. It's sad, but it's true. But fuck it, I think there's more white men than ever now that have just simply walked away from society. Again, you see it every day. Every other day, I see another video from another guy who started another YouTube channel just to say he hasn't started an ongoing long-term YouTube channel. He's just uploaded a video to a YouTube channel to say, look, as a white guy, I'm stepping back from society. I'm just leaving altogether. I'm not interested in women. I'm not interested in working. I'm not interested in bettering myself. Fuck it. Do you know what? The rest of you are here for that. I'm just gonna take a walk out the back, you know. And it's absolutely fine. Again, it seems to be what they want. You know, every other ethnicity has some kind of diversity, DEI scheme to get them into different places, into uni, into college, into workplace, you know, whatever, apart from white men. But fuck it. Wide Awake Media on X has posted 15-year-olds aren't old enough to use social media, but 5-year-olds are old enough to choose which gender they are. Yep. So I've made a morning post on this already, and there is a poster, a picture under this that says social media ban for under 16s could be enforced this year. Right. So one thing that I'd like to point out is you're saying that now 16-year-olds can vote, but they can't go online to research who they're voting for and what the manifesto is, or anything like that. So the only thing they've got to go on is what their teachers say, really, what their teachers, all those lefty teachers out there, the only thing they've got to go on is what the lefty teachers teach them in the classroom and will instruct them who to vote for. So it's a bold strategy, Labour. I can see your plan there. However, it's really not going to work, because the second those little kids, let's call them little Timmy and little Jill, when they step out of that classroom and they see all the Muslims in one area of the playground and all the black and the white kids mixing and congregating and having a good time, but all the Muslims stay by themselves, because it does happen in schools, they're going to know instantly that you're talking fucking shit. And then they're going to walk outside of school and they're going to see you know, a hooded guy with his face covered on a e-bike, and he's going to ride past and steal their phones. And then, I don't know, Rachel Reeves is going to walk up the road and take half their money. They'll go to the shops and they'll see that a 50 pence pack of crisps is now 85 pence. You know, kids aren't stupid. They're going to ask these questions. Why is this so much dearer than it was yesterday? Why are there still people on e-bikes that are stealing shit and nothing's being done about it? Why have I got less pocket money this week than I did last week? Oh, right, it's because my parents can't afford it because Rachel Reeves has stolen all the fucking money. So I think my teacher's talking bollocks. That's how that's going to work, Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. That is how that's going to work. You're breeding more mistrust by lying to their faces than if you just shut the fuck up and say nothing. You know, because it's literally, you're literally teaching these kids now not to trust you, because they're not going to believe you and ignore their eyes and their ears. You know, it doesn't work like that way. You know, that's only lefties and that's only Muslims that demand you do that, and they do that obviously themselves. They're the only people that works on. Anyone that's normal, like me and probably people that watch my channel, it doesn't work on us, because we're normal. We don't reject reality. We don't ignore shit that we don't want to see, you know. So fuck it. It's I can understand what he's going for, but it's absolutely not going to fucking work, you know. Oh shit, just nearly knocked down my PC. That's not my laptop. That's not good, is it? Fucking hell. So angry I'm getting, you see? So angry I'm getting. Gets me all riled up. Grr, I'm so fucking angry. Can you hear it? Can you tell? Right, okay. So we have Europa.com. Again, I think this is the second post from them that I've commented on so far in this video. Good for them. Well done. So we have Europa.com. They've posted on X to say the royal family have wished all Muslims in the UK and around the world a blessed and peaceful Ramadan. There has been no mention of Shrove Tuesday, the Christian feast day before Lent begins on Ash Wednesday, where they've said nothing about that. And if you didn't know, the king is supposed to be the defender of Christians, because England is a Christian country. It's Christian land. It's a Christian country, and so the king, that is his primary job. Much like the government's primary job is to protect the people, the citizens of the country. The first and direct job of the royals, the king, etc., is to defend Christianity. And it would appear that King Charles has absolutely gone back on that. He is absolutely fucking useless. And not only is he useless, he is actively promoting Islam over Christianity in Christian land, on Christian land, in a Christian society. He has absolutely failed as a king and a royal. He is a traitor. It's absolutely disgusting. I genuinely hope. See, I don't think the royal family should be abolished. I genuinely don't. I think it's traditional. I think it's a display of power when we throw such events throughout Britain, and you get to see all those lovely carriages and whatever else. You know, I think every now and then the royal family really outdo themselves, and I think they can do some really fantastic things. However, since King Charles has come into power as king, there's nothing that I can say that he's done or the royal family has done that's made me proud, that I can be proud of. There's just not. Every time he seems to open his mouth, everything he seems to say is just toxic. It's just absolute bollocks that I'm more and more unprepared to listen to every day that he exists. The only thing that I can hope for, to be honest, and it's a bit morbid, but when he's gone and Prince William takes power, hopefully, I genuinely hope William just does a better job. I mean, I know that Andrew and a few other people are likely to take the reins before William is, but you know, let's get there. Let's get to that point where William is going to be the next king. I think that is the only thing that can save them, really save the royal family from people just saying fuck it, get rid of them, we don't want the royals anymore. Which is obviously, again, that is a growing concern for the nation. And again, for me, to be honest, I'm not that bothered if we abolish the royals. Fuck it, makes no difference to me. I would just rather personally have them there than not. Okay, Reese, spelt R-E-I-S-S, has posted on X to say, saw this earlier, the royal town of Sutton Coldfield. And there's a video. He's also stated, how much do you think these contractors are getting paid for this botch pothole repair using feet to flatten the tarmac? Okay, so there is a pothole in the road in Sutton Coldfield. Apparently that's a royal town, presumably a very nice town and lovely area apparently. And there's two workmen there. One of them's holding the traffic up, and the other has just poured a bag of quickset tarmac into the pothole, and then he's just sort of shuffled it about with his feet, flattened it down a little bit, and then they're both walking off. They're gonna go get back in the van, and apparently that's done. Well, I as an electrical engineer, when I've had to dig cables out under driveways and things for electronic gate systems, I can tell you that pothole cover that he's done is going to last about 20 minutes. It genuinely is, because that kind of tarmac, that quick fill tarmac, it's basically tar on little stones and things like that. But what you're meant to do is you're meant to whack it down with a fucking heavy plate. Like you get like a rod with a flat plate on the bottom, and you just have to keep whacking it, and until it's all flattened out nicely. But the main thing is it has to have dirt on it. You put dirt on the top of it so that when something drives over it, when somebody steps on that bit of tarmac that you've replaced, it doesn't stick to the bottom of their shoes. It doesn't stick to the bottom of their tires, and they just take it away with them. Because then the bit underneath that, that's going to be clean as well. So the next person that drives over it, the next person that steps on it, well, it's going to get stuck on their trainers or tires, and they're going to walk off, and then the bit under that's going to be clean, and then so the next person that steps on it, the next person that drives over it, is going to get stuck to theirs. And do you see where I'm going with this? It just works its way back out again by sticking to things that touch it. Whereas if you whack it down as hard as it can, so everything's compact in the fucking hole, and then you throw a load of dirt and shit all over it, so that that top layer doesn't stick to anything and doesn't get taken away. When you do that, that's how it stays in the fucking hole. I can't believe I have to fucking explain this. But that's how that works, and they've done none of that. They've done absolutely none of that. It's literally just open a bag, throw it in the fucking hole, and apparently that's done. That's what it is. These are supposed to be professionals. You know, I could have done that for half the fucking price, and I know what I'm doing. Jesus Christ. And I'm an electrical engineer, for fuck's sake. That's meant to be their job. They're meant to have done that every day for fuck knows how long. Unbelievable. Fucking hell. So let's we're running to the end now, so a couple of these I might skip now. Let's get some good stories rather than what I've got down here. So we have 40% rise in UK supermarket food prices since 2020. That's just abysmal. But again, it's not surprising. We can all feel it. We all know it's happening day by day. Pardon me. Even things that cost £1, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, are, you know, £1.15, £1.20 today. It's absolutely ridiculous. Again, it's one of those things where, because the economy is so unstable in Britain, you notice it because the prices really are fluctuating, you know, month to month. It's ridiculous. I honestly can't remember a time in my life where it's happened to this degree so much. I genuinely, I've never actually gone into a shop and thought to myself, how much is this going to be this week? How much is that going to be this week? Whereas now, because of Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves, etc., you do think to yourself, you go into a shop and you think, well, how much is it going to be this week, for fuck's sake? And it's the same. Do you know what? It's the same with beers as well. It's the same with the price of beers and cider. When I go into a pub now, I often think, well, for fuck's sake, how much is it going to be today? You know? And going from one pub to another as well is ridiculous. In my area, it can range from anything to £7.60, I think, is the dearest pint I've paid lately, to £3.99. Yeah. So that's quite a difference, isn't it? £7.60 to £3.99. Absolutely, just incredible. Just madness. So we have British Intel on X has posted a mum calls police on her own son for far right wing views. She's a bitch. She is genuinely a bitch. Fuck that woman. Guarantee you she's a lefty. A little bit scared. Oh no, he said that he doesn't want to be taken over by Muslims. He doesn't want to be a Muslim. Oh, you fuck me. You got to have the police called on you. Amazing. So in England, a mother says her 22-year-old son has been radicalized because he has far right-wing views and posts online. As do I. Good lad. Respect to you. Unity. This father then tells him to shut up and calls him a parasite and says he needs to leave. The mother calls the police on her own son over his views. Years of government brainwashing on full display. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not the young one that's had that brainwashing, that indoctrination. It's the parents. It's the parents that believe they're doing the right thing because everyone around them, because all their lefty mong friends have said, yeah, you know, this is the important thing to do. We've all got to get along. We've all got to hug the world, and the world will hug us back. Muslims aren't up to anything. Politicians don't lie. You know, all this bollocks. that clearly this mum and dad genuinely believe, because they just don't want to face facts. They don't want to acknowledge that we're in a bad way. And so what do? They turn on their own son, who's willing to actually address the problem and fight against it. What a bunch of cunts they are. Fuck them. We have Chris X Vergas on Threads. I've actually been following this for a few days, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Let me tell you what it is. It is Chris X Vergas. He's replaced all the pictures of Jesus in his grandmother's house with pictures of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Absolutely brilliant. What fucking genius. What a legend, you know. So every Jesus picture in his grandmother's house, he took away and replaced it with a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he managed to keep that going for 8 days. 8 days. She didn't realize that she was praying to Obi-Wan Kenobi and not praying to Jesus. I think that's hilarious. That is really, really funny. Good on the lad. Yeah, good on him. Anyway, he's kept it up for 8 days now. Well done to him. I think I started following this at about 3 days, I think it was. And I've checked in every day to see how it's going. But he has decided to end it now. He decided to tell her what he's done because he felt bad. So on the 8th day, Chris told his mum that she's been praying to Obi-Wan Kenobi, not Jesus. Absolutely well done to that lad. Just funny as hell. Well done. We have Britain is broken. Has posted on X to say Rupert Lowe has ruled out taking any Palestinian refugees. He stated as saying a Restore Britain government would not accept a single refugee from Palestine. Absolutely, because it's not worth the risk. I absolutely agree with this. Palestinians voted in Hamas. Palestinians, they could have, with the money they had, they could have built an infrastructure. They could have built hospitals, schools, all these other things that are necessary in a civilized country, in a civilized community. Instead, what they did is they used that money to dig tunnels so that they could attack Israel. That's all they did. That's it. And you can say, the Israelis are killing Palestinians, all you like. Yeah, they fucking are, because the Palestinians declared war on them. Again, it's what Muslims do, and Palestine is a Muslim country, just full of lies and deceit. The only videos that you get out of Palestine now are AI videos. You must have seen them if you go on X at all, if you go on any kind of social media at all. You must have seen these stupid videos of kids standing in a tent holding the support pole for the tent while a load of water surges around them because apparently they're drowning. And then 2 days later, there's a snowstorm, and the kids are just sitting outside on their hands and knees, just huddling, trying to stay warm in the blizzard that is consuming Palestine. But it's all bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. If as many others have pointed out in those comment sections of those videos, if you go onto your weather app on your phone and just look up Palestine, it's like 16 degrees out there. It's impossible to die out there of cold. And there's no there are a couple of places that are flooded in Palestine, but it's not nationwide. Well, because they're not a nation as well. They're not recognized as a country. Just absolutely fucking ridiculous. Oh, just fed up with it. Okay, we're at 58 minutes, so I'm going to have to end the show there. Thank you, everyone that has joined and has listened throughout this recording. I genuinely appreciate it. Try to stay safe, try to stay sane, try to stay sensible. And until Saturday will be my next episode at 12:30. Until then, just try and be fucking awesome, yeah. Seriously consider who you want to vote for out of Reform and Restore, and keep the dream of Britain and what Britain used to be. Keep that alive. Keep that in your hearts. Hopefully, we will return to the real Britain one day. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.